It's Africa Day tomorrow, and some African ambassadors are boycotting South Africa's celebration. So let's start with that one. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, you.
Yeah, good to have you in.
Again.
Yes. Over and over. Every Sunday we know we have a date. So let's talk about this. I mean, ambassadors boycotting the continent's celebration over concerns about safety of their citizens. What's happening?
Yeah, it's a you know, if you go back, say, 20 years ago, or even 30 years ago, it's unlikely that this kind of incident would happen, that African ambassadors would be boycotting an Africa Day event on South African soil. You know, it just shows how much our relationships with the rest of the continent have deteriorated.
Is it because of what's happening with the sort of
because of the issues around immigration, the issue around African migrants and the protests and the marches, and in some cases the violence that has accompanied that. And I think that the mistake that we probably are making as South Africans is that we think that this is an in-house thing. Nobody's looking at us. We can do whatever we like. How that comes across is irrelevant, But actually, what has happened here is that there are lots of what has been happening is actually causing a lot of damage to the South African brand all around the world, because the images go out. We think that nobody's looking, nobody knows what's going on here, but actually increasingly the world's attention, particularly on the continent, has been attracted to what has been happening here. So what is happening now is that it's very rare, it's never happened that all African ambassadors on the continent would take a position like this.
Is it every single one?
That is effectively hostile to South Africa, and yet they are based here,
I mean, I'm just wondering, is this not a missed opportunity? I understand that they may be upset and they may be, but is it not a missed opportunity to actually connect and try and fix the problem and say, let's work together so that, we are all one. We're Africa, and, we should be helping each other out.
DECO, for example, has been engaging with some of the ambassadors. Ronald Lamola, the minister, has also been engaging with his counterparts. But I think we have to understand that the ambassadors who are here are representing their countries back home. And I think they are reflecting the feelings of people back home, that they have to be seen to be speaking up and communicating the concerns. But I think that it is also a reflection of how far South Africa as a country has drifted away from being a key player on the continent, because over the years, you remember when Thabo Mbeki was president, we were one of the countries that were driving NEPAD, New Deal, the African New Deal. We were the ones who were pushing the Africa Review, peer review mechanism. We've had some of our young people dying on the continent on peacekeeping missions.
Absolutely.
So that position that we have traditionally held on the continent as the leaders, as the key players, is being undermined by what is happening now. And a lot of it is because the South African government is very poor at communicating, well, not just on this, on anything else, whether it is about the white genocide myth, or whether it is about whether South Africa is, I got phoned by someone from Jamaica the other day saying that, why is your country deporting fellow Africans? So there's a whole negative picture that is playing itself out outside the country, and we are not, we're so flat-footed.
And it feeds into that other narrative at the White House, doesn't it?
So and the danger is that it is going to lead to South Africa's isolation in the long run, unless we change the way we're engaging with the continent and the way we're engaging with the world.
And we forget, Mike, that, I mean, a lot of these countries, when a lot of our veterans were exiled, and, a lot of these countries accommodated. They went there. South Africans, activists were given refuge in a lot of those places. And we forget those relationships as well. We need to honor that.
But on the other hand as well, we have to remember that we part of the continent economically. Our economies are intertwined, especially in SADC. You know, your Lesotho's, your Mozambique's, your Zim, the egg has long been scrambled, and there's no way we can unscramble it from an economic point of view. So we have to think that if our companies, for example, your MTNs are going to do business in Nigeria or in Ghana or in Zim or wherever, we have to keep that in mind.
There's going to be repercussions.